Project is a parent to the parentless. We go out and find kids that have exited foster care or the juvenile systems that are now homeless between 18 and 26 years old, and we present them with a new chance at life. I started the Teen Project based on my history and the history of the kids that are aging out of foster care. You see, I was in the foster care system. I entered the system when I was 13 years old. It just spiraled and hit every possible branch on the way down. I ended up prostituting by the time I was 18. I exited foster care and ended up out on the streets, and when I was almost 23 years old, I was abducted by gang members, taken to the woods, and they had the intention of killing me that night. My life was saved by an angel, a man passing by. If it wasn't for those angels that intercepted my life, I just wouldn't be here right now. After my life was saved, I just felt like God wanted me to do something to help these kids. And what happened was I started taking in foster kids, and it was kind of by accident. I was babysitting a young lady's daughter, and she never came back, and she ended up dying of an overdose. So that was the first of my 36 foster kids. So I got a phone call, and they said they wanted me to serve on the foster care advisory board for Orange County, and I was so excited. I found out that 40% of the nation's homeless population was foster kids. And then I read that 65% of our foster kids were exiting to homelessness. So where I thought this was my bad luck, my own personal bad luck, I was realizing this is the expected result for foster kids in America. And I was on fire. I was so upset. I ran out and looked online and talked to people, and I found out that you could start a charity on LegalZoom. Within 10 months, we had $180,000 in our little bank account. And we bought this little 3-bedroom house in Lake Forest. And I was talking about it so much that we had about 30 or 40 people following us. And they saw the house we bought, and they said, you can do better than this. And they brought in construction people, and they knocked down the house, and they built a brand new 6-bedroom home with each room custom decorated for one girl so they wouldn't have to share rooms. And I gotta tell you, for foster kids, this is probably the first time they've had their own room. And the first time they've had their own room that looks like a girl's room. Since that happened, about 51 young girls have come through this home and found a new life, whether they wanted to go to cosmetology school or be a lawyer or a doctor, whatever they wanted, we supported their dreams. We would go out and raise money and ask people for help and tell the story of one little girl that was homeless that has a dream. And every single time, people have come through like angels to help these little girls.
I was addicted to drugs. I was homeless. It was horrible. I would steal money from people, and I just didn't like the way I was living. And last year, I delivered a baby boy. I had a kidney infection, and I used drugs my whole pregnancy. I couldn't stop doing drugs. I knew I had to for my son, but I just couldn't do it. The drugs had a hold of me, and when I delivered him in the toilet at the hospital. He came out breached, and he was dead. But they revived him, and now he's a handsome little boy. He has a couple, medical issues. I lost custody of my son. He's actually in foster care right now, and I'm working towards getting him back. I went to Rehab Teen Project for 3 months, and now I live here at the Sober Living Home. I knew then that I had to get clean for my son because my son doesn't have his father. And now that I'm sober, I can honestly say my life has changed for the better, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
I was actually entered into the foster care system when I was 15. I ended up running away, I ended up getting in trouble, and then I was put in juvenile hall. And on my 18th birthday, they released me with no more social services, and I just was released into the world. I first heard about the Teen Project when I was incarcerated. My public attorney was the one who told me about it. She knew that I had been in foster care before, knew that I didn't really have any resources, didn't have any family that was helping me out. And she told me that the Teen Project was a place where you could go and start completely over.
There are so many successes coming through the program, I don't even have time to list them all, but 2 of the ones that I think about often are Ashley Moody and Stephanie Canada.
I met Lori in 2012. I was homeless and I didn't have a place to go, and I moved here with her, and I was thinking about what to do with my life, and it was actually her idea for me to go into the medical field. I finished school, I became a medical assistant first, and then I decided to study and become an x-ray tech. I give injections, I administer medications. It's everything that I've always wanted to do.
When I was 18 years old, I found myself enrolled in college and homeless. So when I came to live with Lori, I felt like I had a family again, and I had guidance to help me figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I mean, when you're 18, you're not really sure what you want. I went to a trade school for machining, and I currently work at a medical device company, and I've been working there for 6 years as a lead QC inspector. The team project has always encouraged me every step of the way.
Okay, so right now we have the Team Project in Orange County, which is this beautiful house where we have 6 girls that were homeless living here and going to school. We have the drop-in center in Venice Beach, which is a portal for homeless kids. There are hundreds of kids sleeping on the beach in Venice. They walk in the door, tell us their story, and our job is to get them off the street the same day. Whether we find a safe relative or a safe housing program for them to go to, or they come to us, we will get them off the street. And then in Los Angeles, we have an 85-bed drug treatment center. Our drug treatment center in Los Angeles is the only completely free drug treatment that exists in the United States that's dedicated to young girls that are transitional ages 18 to 26. 74 beds are licensed for full drug treatment, and 11 are for transitional housing. And we have girls that come through the program, they get drug treatment, they get vocational schooling, and a new chance at life. So the Team Project primarily serves girls, although if you look at the drop-in center in Venice Beach, 90% of the kids that come in are boys that are homeless. And that's where we see the highest population, but we do believe that there needs to be a drug treatment center for boys. Our goal is to open local homes for boys to get help as well. One of the integral parts of the Teen Project is to find the victims of sex trafficking and treat them. Our Freehab facility is well known for our program for the victims of sex trafficking, rape, and sexual violence. Foster kids are extremely vulnerable to sex traffickers. When we talk about sex trafficking in the United States, I'm talking about both males and females. They are homeless after foster care in too many cases, and they end up out on the street and prey to the traffickers that are offering them something to eat and a place to sleep. Most people don't know, but in the United States, 60% of the sex trafficking victims came directly from foster care. We also have a texting program. Any youth in the nation could text the word shelter and their zip code to 99,000, and it'll return a safe shelter to their phone, local to where they're at, within 40 seconds. So people see us out there in People magazine, we've been in Family Circle, CNN, we've been on the Steve Harvey Show, the Ricky Lake Show. Well, I gotta tell you, we need help. There are 25,000 kids aging out of foster care every year. 25,000. 50% of them will go homeless instantly. We need to help those kids that are still out there. If you don't help because you think we've already got this thing, then that means the rest of the kids need to stay out there.
I don't think I would be a success without the Teen Project right now.
I'm grateful.
I can honestly say I'm a new person. It's an amazing feeling, and I thank the Teen Project.
If people want to get better from that situation and they want to heal and they want a good opportunity at life to be somebody and do something, I think that this is a great opportunity here, and I don't think it should be missed if someone's able to take it.